Hi, my name's Sonjia and this is my channel, See It Then, See It Now. For this project I was issued with an editor challenge, and the challenge was to create something in a style that I wouldn't normally choose, and I came up with this idea, and it is in a style that I've never even given a second glance to, but I actually felt really inspired by it, and I literally grabbed it and ran with it, and I've actually fallen in love with this style. So rather than just do the one project, it's turned into a few projects, and I'm actually going to decorate this little area of my house with the few projects. So you're going to get this in a few bits, but this is the first part, and let's jump straight in. Okay, I'm so excited about this one because in my head this project is going to look amazing. When I set out on this one, I wasn't 100% sure on how I was going to create this, and I just sort of made it up as I went along, and to be honest, just one or two things I ended up changing and redoing. For example, these circles were actually smaller the first time, and then I found they weren't big enough, so I ended up cutting two bigger ones. By the way, this cardboard is so tough to cut through. These circles are going to be for the rim of the hat, and I want the rim to have a bend on it. I don't want it to be dead straight and flat, so I'm just manipulating the card and getting like a curve to it. I chose to use two pieces and stick them together because I want the hat to look like it's metal, and I just thought this would make it a bit thicker so that it would look like the thickness of a piece of metal. I'm going to put loads of glue on these just purely because what I want to happen is I want the cardboard to get a bit damp so that it curls around the shape. I'm just going to leave me a bit either side just to stick a bit of hot glue on the whole. I'm doing it on the wrong side, idiot. Sonjia, concentrate. And I hope that the hot glue just helps keep it all together, and like I say, plenty of glue so that hopefully the moisture will help the cardboard stay bent. Once I had the two circles glued together, I positioned it between these two jar lids and weighted down the centre. These bottles, by the way, these are for me to decorate up. I have not drunk the contents. The supervisor is partial to the odd gin. It took a bit of balancing, but once I had these positioned, they stayed put, and once it was dry, the cardboard stayed in the curved shape. Now I had the rim of the hat done, it was time to sort out the sides of the hat, and I did that using these strips of card. I've bent it to go in the bottom of there. These need to go underneath, so curve side this way, and we're going to put these 1, 2, 3, 4 for starters. Then we're going to do the same with the top, but this time we're going to glue on the top side and make sure that you've got the bend on here, making sure that I've got the bend on that bit and the bend on this bit the same. That is going to be our hat. I continued gluing strips of card until I had them going all the way around the circumference of the hat. Okay, so that's my basic shape, but I do want to just pull it in slightly. Put this piece of wire around here just to cinch it in a little bit, around the middle, and now I need to put some pieces of card on. I started gluing strips of card around the sides of the hat, and I eventually realised that it was better to use smaller strips. I just found that the smaller strips, they stuck on more easily. It was less fiddly. Once I had enough card in place for it to hold its shape, I removed the piece of wire, and then I continued to glue on the bits of card until I'd filled in most of the holes. This was the point where I really felt like I was winning with this hat. It had just felt like I was battling with cardboard up to this point. I glued another cardboard circle onto the top of the hat. This was to cover all those bits of cardboard strips that were showing, and also for a little bit of extra strength. I then used masking tape to cover the whole of the side of the hat, just to fill in all the little holes that were still left in between the cardboard strips. Once I had the two parts of the hat stuck together, I covered the whole thing in napkin and PVA glue, just to help give it some extra strength. Once the tissue was dry, I covered the hat with this ready-made filler. My reasoning for this was because I wanted it to have a smoother finish than the rough, wrinkled kind of look that you get from the napkin. There was a whole lot of drying time with this project, so once the filler was dry, I gave the hat a coat of black chalk paint. Once the black paint had dried, I needed to try and get this to look more metallic, so I used some gold paint and I just rubbed it over some of the areas, especially where there was ridges and lumps and bumps from the filler. How cool does that look? This is looking amazing. I love it. Right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So when I was creating this, I had in my head that I was going to need to make it smooth in order to get the effect that I wanted, and I thought if it doesn't work then I had a plan B, but my original plan was to just simply keep sanding it until I got a nice smooth surface. But I actually really like the lumps and bumps in this. I'm glad that I didn't painstakingly sand and get it smooth now, because I'm liking the lumps and bumps. It looks good. I'm very pleased. Okay, so I'm just waiting for my hot glue gun to warm up. I thought I'd just try and darken. I do like this, but I don't think it's going to really go with the design all that well. So I'm going to darken, just use a bit of wax and see if I can darken it down a little bit. Okay, so what we'll do next, we'll leave that over there, just drain a little bit. So this is my old glue gun. I bought a new one because it kept clogging up and all this rust kept falling off it, and when you're gluing fancy lace and bits of fancy lace and things, the last thing you want is the glue all the rust falling into your nice white lace. So I bought a new one which has got a plastic bit so that it doesn't rust. So I got these sticks with the new one. I don't really know what to do with them, so I'm going to have a go at making some moulds using the glue. Now I've never done this before, so I don't really know how this is going to go down, but we're going to give it a go. Some of these worked out better than others, and what I found seemed to work the best was to start from the outside and work your way into the middle. So I pushed the glue into all the little teeth on the cogs and then filled the middle bit in afterwards. That seemed to give me the best results. This is the one I'm most hopeful for. Please work, because you look at that. Yay, I can use that one. Possibly use that one. Waiting on that drain, I can't do all of that yet. So I bought this air clip from a charity shop, and my thought was that I could paint this up and use it on the hat. Now when I got to the till, they had a broken one on the side, and I said that I would take this one instead and give them that one back so they could resell that. But unfortunately I thought it had just come apart, because I'm going to pull it apart anyway, So I thought I was just going to be pulling it apart, but unfortunately one of the petals was broken as well, and so he ended up giving me this one as well. So I might not have to pull that one apart because I can use this one. I might use that for something else. But so I do still actually have the petal, but after coming away from the charity shop, I thought maybe I could put them kind of side by side, or just use one, or I'm not sure. But I'm going to paint these up and do something with them to put them on there. So I've already cut the prongs off the back of this one, and I just used these to cut them off. I don't know where that ended up, but it went flying across the room. Now the best bet would probably be to take these outside and spray paint them, but it never stops raining, so I'm going to just paint them black. I also decided to paint these little plastic leaves as well. I thought that they'd look pretty on the hat, and I want them to look metallic, and so obviously this green wasn't going to go, so I painted them black, and then while the paint was still wet I just went over the top of the black with a little bit of copper paint, and it gave it a nice metallic look. I had to play around with the different coloured paints, just having a see at what I could do with these flowers, and I settled on having them gold with some of the black showing through. My original plan was to put the piece of belt around here, but because of the curve in the hat, I couldn't get the belt to lie down and stay flush with the side of the hat. So I decided to use these flat back pearls instead, because I could cut little bits out and manipulate it a bit better to go around and up and down the curves. I did give these a coat of the metallic gold and copper paint. I just did a bit in copper, then did a bit in gold until I had them all coloured, and I just stuck them all on using the hot glue. I decided to stick some little cogs and gears onto these flowers, and that was a good move. I thought these looked really good when they were finished, and I was trying Gorilla Gorilla Glue for the first time as well. I've never used Gorilla Glue before. I was struggling a little bit, so I went back to the good old reliable E6000. It's amazing. So I've stuck this on here, which I really wanted a band on, so I'm happy with the band, but I'm not happy with the top. So I don't know if this is going to look alright until I cut it off, but I'm thinking of taking this little top bit, cutting it off and then sticking it around the top of the band just to make it tidier. So I'm going to go away and cut all that off and do one of them and be back and it's done. Right, so I've so my original plan to put this round didn't really work for me. It wasn't, because it wouldn't sit straight. So I went with these beads, which I coloured all different colours, which is great. It kind of works, but I don't like the top and the bottom. So I decided to cut these little pieces off this, and I'm going to use these two bits, and my plan is to stick them around this edge just to give it a nice neat finished look. So I'm just going to bob that all the way around. Now normally with projects I start at the back, so I would put this bit around the back. Now with what I've got planned for this, you're not going to see around the back, but just in case I ever take it off where it's going to be displayed and you can see the back, I don't want the back to look a mess, and this side is going to be covered with other things. So I'm going to take this from the side rather than from the back, because there's not going to be anything at the back and you are going to be able to see it, but from here you're not going to be able to see this bit of the hat when I'm done. Now all I had left to do was to stick lots of pretty things to the hat and make it look beautiful. Just trying to get it in a position so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to stick some of this up this side of the hat. And that looks amazing. Okay, so oh my god, that is so cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's have a reminder and see it then. And let's see it now. As this was an editor challenge, let's check in with her and see if I passed the test. How fabulous did this turn out? I can't believe it started off as a piece of cardboard. It just looks amazing. I have got an idea on how to display this, but for that I have enlisted the help of a friend of mine who's absolutely amazing at what she does. Here's a sneak preview. If you don't want to miss that, then do make sure that you're subscribed, hit that like button and leave me a comment. It all helps the algorithm, helps to get this out to other people who might be interested in it as well. I really do appreciate all your comments, and I do reply to them all, so please do leave me a comment, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, then please subscribe, then you don't miss out on the next one. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I have got another update on the bedroom that's coming very soon, on the guest bedroom, and I think that's everything. So I'm going to jump back on these crafts, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.